What's going on, guys? We are wrapping up the Opus 15 Crystal Dominion set reviews. Sorry this one took a little longer. I hadn't had time, but we're all set to wrap it up today. This week we're going to locals. We have to finish one more Opus 14 week, but then I probably won't have much for you this week, but next week we're definitely getting straight into the Opus 15 stuff. Maybe I'll do the box openings and the pre-releases, locals and stuff like that. So anyway, when you let's start with these lightning cards, right? Aquila. When you cast a summon, gain a crystal. This effect will trigger once per turn. Only once per turn. When Aquila enters the field, choose a lightning summon in your break zone and add it to your hand at 3 damage. Pretty interesting card. I think this is one of the better ways to gain crystals, other than waiting for. I don't think there's a card that, even though we just went through them all, I can't recall that there's a card that has limitless crystals. But this is probably one of the better ways to generate crystals, I think, so far. He might see some play. He's not a bad card. 3-drop Axis. When Axis enters the field, put the top 3 cards of your deck into the break zone. Put Axis into the break zone, choose a forward other than card name Axis in your break zone, and add it to your hand. So the first effect, like I said before, I think we're getting into the point where we need to start leaving more things in the break zone. The break zone is obviously like equally as important as stuff in your hand sometimes, right? Just be able to recur stuff, but if your opponent leaves you without a break zone, then you kind of like sitting like just floating in the water, right? But the fact that put Axis in the break zone, choose a forward other than card name Axis in your break zone, add it to your hand. I like that he can kind of like replace himself in that sense, and he's also pretty. I guess that's kind of protection, right? Like if your opponent uses an effect, let's say Garland, right, to break Axis, which is, I don't know why you would, but he can just send himself. Your opponent doesn't resolve his effect, so he's a pretty good card. Aranea. When Aranea enters the field, reveal the top card of your deck. If it's a lightning card, add it to your hand. And the drop dragoons forward you control gain 2,000 power. I don't know if this Aranea will replace the other Aranea, but we might throw it in there as well, right? So this one just helps us get more cards, while the other one is like, all right, we're ready to win the game or try to make some plays. So we'll definitely see some play. Vayne. Before playing the cost of Vayne, you can remove any number of active backups you control from the game to reduce the cost required to cast Vayne by 4 for each backup you remove this way. Okay. Oh, that's a pretty. So if you're feeling, pretty saucy, you can make him 0, and then the forwards you control gain 2,000 power, and the forwards your opponent controls lose 2,000 power. So yeah, that's if you want to cast him, right? But it doesn't say anything here about cheating him in. I'm sure we can find a way to cheat in an 8-drop. I believe the Echo Neko Saboka or whatever is capped at 8 drops. So Wind Lightning is able to play this guy for free for like a 4-cost backup. And instead of getting rid of 2 backups, you only have to remove that one. That's just one idea. Obviously, I'm sure there's going to be tons of ways to abuse this. He is pretty costly, so I think cheating him out is going to be the best way to go for it. But so he pretty much is at 10k, right? Because he says the forwards you control. He is a forward. He is 12. He is searchable. He's like very searchable, and he's just going to make it difficult for your opponent to do stuff. So I like this card very much. We'll see who breaks him first, right? Get him out turn 1 somehow. 2-drop backup Sky Soldier. Put Sky Soldier into the break zone, choose a forward. It gains, when this forward deals damage to a forward, break that forward. Oh, that's very nice. Until the end of the turn. When this forward deals battle damage to a forward. That's where I messed up. This forward deals battle damage to a forward, break that forward. I don't know, unless we have things attacking multiple times and forcing battles, that's not going to be that great. Odin, select one of the following 2 actions. Choose a forward of cost 2 or less, break it. Choose a forward of cost 4 or less. If you have received the point of damage this turn, break it. Now, where I think this is a decent card My biggest problem is going to be that I feel like it's underwhelming compared to the other ones we've seen. Like, Ice got an amazing Shiva. Ice got like 2 amazing cards. Earth got amazing cards. Water got the best cards. But, and they all have that effect to reduce a crystal. I don't know if Lightning has another summon that I'm not sure about. But I don't, other than the reprint, right? Oh, it does. It has this one. Okay, we'll get to that one then. But this one's just a little weird. I don't know. It feels unnecessary. But I guess people were complaining about like 2-drop breakage, and so I think I know Lightning's always kind of had that with some of the tactics characters in the past, and then a few other cards I can't recall right now. But here's a summon that does it just as cheap too. And I guess if you took a point of damage this turn, so it's good to hold this in during your opponent's turn, right? Obviously, if they're attacking, then you just break their stuff. So solid card, I think. We'll see what the other one looks like. When Thunder Drake enters the field, choose a forward of cost 2 or less, break it. And see, here's what I was talking about, right? Like, they're gonna keep adding cards like these for elements that don't have answers. Normally have answers for stuff like Sophie, other than for stuff, just pretty much it. And then obviously at the end of the turn it becomes the 6k forward, and then it dies. Sonatus, backup Kingslave for 2 lightning and a colorless. Put Sonatus in the break zone, choose a forward, break it. Sonatus deals you 1 point of damage. Well, that's a good way to do both of these, right? Like, it's a good effect to have. I don't know how many will play of this, but we'll see. Well, actually, let me go back. I just thought of something. So, being as you're playing Aranea usually in Lightning now, this is a good way to clear the board and get you to 6 when you're in a weird spot, like your opponent won't commit. Cards like these are actually going to be a lot better. The cost is relatively cheaper than some of these, like extraordinary lightning backups that require like 4 or 5 and like a bunch of silly stuff. There's like a black mage that does 10k, I think, but you have to give up your firstborn, and that's not and that's really like never gonna see play outside of whatever sealed. So this might actually be a half decent card now. It doesn't necessarily need to stay confined to the Kingsglaive stuff, but it probably will definitely be in there too. Another Kingsglaive, Tread. When Tread enters the field, choose a category 15 forward until the end of the turn. He gains 1k in Brave. You can put Tread into the break zone, choose a forward until the end of the turn. He gains 3,000 powers and first strike. So another, I guess that's a cool Kingsglaive effect, right? Because that's the whole thing, right? They can send themselves or whatever places, so he's going to be able to save himself, protect someone else potentially, or find. And he's pretty cheap for a half decent battle trick and maybe a survivability. So very interesting card. Nyx, remove a job Kingsglaive in your break zone from the game. So this is kind of where it builds up to, right? It's kind of designed to revolve around this Nyx. Until the end of the turn, Nyx gains 1,000 power for strike, and Nyx cannot be chosen by your ability summons. So as long as these guys, Tread and the other one, what's his name, Axis, are putting themselves in the break zone if need be, he can protect himself as well. And remove 5 Jug Kings in your break zone from the game. Search for category 15 forward of cost 5 or less and play it on the field. That's kind of why they want to throw cards into the break zone too, right? You want to fuel this Nyx. He's a very good card. The effects are very nice, but so really it's just like they send themselves to the break zone, then you have 5, then you remove them to bring out Regis. Regis brings them all back out, and then you have Ilu or Aranea. It gives everybody haste. Go. Backup Ninja when enters field, gain a crystal. Ooh, I like that it's Ninja and crystals for the purpose of a ninja deck, so this is nice. Put Ninja in the break zone, choose a forward, deal it 1,000 damage. You can only use ability during your turn. Yeah, no, that's the second effect sucks. Null, first strike when Null is blocked, deal 6,000 damage to the forward that blocks Null. Very good. So deals you damage. This is like I want to say it's the Opus one. Was it when he attacks? I think this is a Squall that reads very similar to this. I'm gonna look this up actually. I hate to do this, but so it's an upgrade from this. When Squall blocks or is blocked, choose a forward. You may deal with 6k, and then you have to pay an S to get first strike. This is how, from a legendary, All right, let's look at that from legendary. From legendary to, oh no, we're still in Opus 1. From legendary to common, congratulations, you've been power crept. So this card is, so that Squall would be fantastic if it read the same, but this card is actually very good for a common card. Obviously unblockable, but you know, 6k is not that serious to deal with, so obviously loses to things that don't take damage less than their power, but still a pretty good card for a common. And as you just saw, the level of power creep, it's you know what I'm talking about already. Felthano's backup. When Felthano's enters to break all active forwards. Oof. That's a very, very nice effect. 6 damage at the end of each of your turns. Break all the forwards your opponent controls and all the backups you control. What? At the end of each of your turns? At the end of each of your turns. Break all the forwards your opponent controls and all the backups you control. Wow. I don't like that second point one, but maybe if you're doing something like this, you just play the big vein towards this, and then let this resolve, and then your vein deals with all this stuff. This is a very strong card. Again, Lightning's getting stuck in that active forwards thing, but oftentimes when you're in control of the field and you drop, this is the opposite of what Shantotto does, right? It can do the same thing, but it also helps you really just shut out your opponent too, right? That's the difference here. So like, your opponent sets up, then you find a way to duel your guys, or even like, I don't know. I'm trying to word it right, and it's not coming to me. But the main idea is that you're able to potentially swing out early on and then break all their forwards, or effectively like don't play any forwards yet and then break all their active stuff. And what I mean by it's different than Felthano's, than Shantotto, is that it has that advantage where it's not a reset button for you necessarily, but it can also be a shutout at any point in the game, right? Because if the only active forwards are your opponents, then this card kind of like, and at 6 damage, it's super crazy. Break all the forwards your opponent controls and the backups you control. Obviously, there's no way around that second effect other than like we just talked about the vein, but we'll see. I wonder if this will make it. It's quite a risky card. If you control a category 15 character, the cost required to cast Pelna is reduced by 1. Okay. You put Pelna into the break zone, choose a category 15 forward you control, gain 2,000 power until the end of the turn. He's a backup. I think we made the joke. It's finally some Hispanic representation in this game. So congratulations, Pelna. You did it. You broke the barrier for us. We know what the 15 Kingsglaive thing is going for now, and this is all on par. I think he effectively could become free when we see the new Regis. Magitech, you can tap, discard, choose a forward, break it. Magitech Armor will not activate during your next activate phase. But he will activate eventually, so this is an interesting card. It'll definitely be a good card in Limited, but it's not going to be that great going forward. It is 6 though, so that's funny. 6 got a bunch of cards to set. Raglease, Spite Warden. At the end of each of your turns, if a forward has been put from the field into the break zone this turn, gain a crystal. Damage, EX bursts. When Raglease enters the field, gain a crystal. I don't know if these Spite Warden things are going to be relevant, but this one doesn't interest me at all. The Ramu reprint. I think this guy's been reprinted a bunch of times, and he's in like every starter deck that has lightning in it, so good on you, mate. Lilithset, Dancer, Mobius 11. Dual an active job Dancer or card name Dancer. Choose a forward. Dual it. Dual a total of 4 active job Dancers or a card name Dancer. Deal 8,000 damage to all active forwards. Has to be active again. Here we go. And then Climactic Flourish. During this turn, the job Dancer or card name Dancers you control is dealt damage by a summoner ability. That damage becomes 0 instead. I like that I like the S a lot. It just helps protect it. I guess the first effects are really interesting. Being able to like spin up your forwards and like do these multiple effects is going to be very interesting. And then the second one just kind of keeps them protected. The other concern I have right now is that dancers are running across 3 colors, wind, water, and now lightning. So we'll see where that deck goes. It's a very nice card. I think this one comes full art as well. And here's Regis. The cost required to cost you job Kingslaves is reduced by 1. Doesn't say cannot be 0, right? So I think his name was Tread, and then Pelna can effectively be 0. And when Regis is chosen by your opponent's summons or abilities, you may put job Kingsglaive you control into the break zone. When you do so, cancel its effect. So yeah, so same thing. Same thing. So Regis puts him into the break zone to protect himself, and then Nick can remove him from the break zone to protect himself as well. And at 3 damage, he gains 1,000 power. So he's a rare too, so he's a pretty good card. I like him. To help build up the board, he's going to be pretty good. But I think ultimately we're going to play the multicolor Regis for the big plays. Lady Lilith. We talked about this one too, and I'm still not sold on it, but let's give it another go, right? Remove 1 forward other than Lady Lilith from the game. Gain a crystal. You can only use this ability once per turn. Choose 1 lightning forward. It gains haste until the end of the turn. You can only use this ability once per turn. And for 2 crystals, choose a forward of cost 5. Let's break it. Yeah, so again, I'm not really sold on this. Maybe you guys see something I don't. Right now, even though this crystal mechanic is all brand new and stuff, I don't really find a super way to do it and enjoy some of this. So I don't know. These effects might be wasted on me, but please share your thoughts with me and let me know. Alright, Remora, summon. Before playing the cost Remora, you can reduce the pay by 2 like the rest of them. I was concerned they weren't going to get another one of these. But I kept, I forgot that they had 3 summons this set, right, with the reprint. Before paying the cost, you can remove a crystal. Choose a forward you control and a forward your opponent controls. Until the end of the turn, the former gains 7,000 and the latter loses 7,000. I like this one a lot as well. I think the crystals will be important for a card like this. By itself, not so much. And that's not necessarily true either, right? The fact that lightning has something so heavy, like plus 7,000 and reduced by 7,000, is a big deal. I think I'm gonna say this one is definitely gonna see a lot more play. This card, it's a silly card. I don't even know. Remora is the fish that we have in water, so why is he doing here? And why is he a machine? Somebody give me these answers. And then we're just on to the starter deck cards. You guys know what all these do, so no need to really go into them. Alright guys, so the legendaries are Nyx, and who was the other one? Oh, and Lady Lilith, right? Like we like to do, let me know which one you guys think. For me, I'm highly interested in the Kingslave stuff now. Really going over it all together, in one packet, kind of leads me to like what they're going for. We already have like 3 of them, right? Crow, we have Nyx already, and what's the other guy? I always forget his dumb name. But you already have, there's like a bunch of them, right? It's a handful of names, handful of the job, and they all do really good effects. They kind of like help each other, so that deck should be playable. Lady Lilith is nothing exciting for me. I don't know, Lightning didn't give me too much. I think it's really just the Vayne, the Kingslaves, and then quite possibly Remora now. Oh, and Null, the super power crept Null. So, oh, and this ninja too, because I think it's gonna help ninjas. And ninjas can now abuse crystals as well as, the edge that pings for damage. So, very interesting. Alright guys, that's going to wrap this one up. That does it for the series too, the whole set. We've gone over just about everything. Please, as always, thanks for watching, and hope you liked the videos. Hope you learned something. Happy building. We're a week out, so let's see what comes out. I will see you guys in a week with some box openings, and then the week after that, it'll probably be like my Xanarkand report, right? Because we got to talk about that. So I'll see you guys online. I'll see you guys around. Have a great night. Enjoy. What's that? What do you mean?